Yu Yu Hakusho is the quintessential battle shonen. It has an endearing squad of deep characters, a banger opening, and beautifully intricate and varied conflict. And of course, plenty of cool fight scenes.
Yeah, their fights are great. It's really an art form.
This is a genre characterized by growth, the grit to press on in the face of insurmountable adversity, and the power of friendship. And one man exemplifies all of these qualities beautifully. My name's Zero, this is Kato, and today I'm excited to talk about Kazuma Kuwabara. Did you know Kato is a two-man operation? That means the few dollars this channel makes are split between Hoodie and I. To go full-time, we need your support. Go to patreon.com/KatoIT and give just $1 to get access to our Discord, or buy a shirt at KatoMerch.com. With your help, we're one step closer to becoming true anime gods. Kuwabara is one of the primary sources of comedic relief in Yu Yu Hakusho, due to his characterization of being stupid and ugly. Those are Hiei's words, not mine. But he's also a character that can deliver on some of the most powerful emotional beats in the story. He's potentially obnoxious, but his energy is fun to be around, so the characters and the audience don't realize just how much we care about the guy and want him to succeed until we see him studying endlessly to protect Okubu's right to work for a living, or sacrificing himself to motivate Yusuke to save everyone else. It's easy to remember the spotlight moments of the more traditionally cool characters like the rest of Team Urameshi, but Kuwabara is a character that fulfills his role so perfectly that it would be a shame not to acknowledge what an essential part of the team he really is. Kuwabara hit an early growth spurt, and his large stature made prevailing over other kids on the playground a fairly simple matter. Fighting was a way to demonstrate his manly strength. He never lost a fight and considered himself the toughest guy around, until he finally encountered a smart-mouthed jackass who actually knew how to fight. Since he admires strength, Yusuke became a point of interest. He wants a rematch, and then another. But the more they clash fists, the more impressed he becomes with Urameshi's strength. A true deuteragonist, he becomes drawn to it. But fighting isn't only a way for Kuwabara to decide who's the toughest. As demonstrated by the origin story of his Kuwabara group, it's also a way for him to establish friendship. After their first battle, Yusuke considers Kuwabara another dude looking to get his ass kicked. But that quickly changes. Their shared appreciation for trading fists and witticisms during a good fight is the only thing Yusuke and Kuwabara know they have in common, and through continual battles, they become closer. Kuwabara considers it a point of pride when Yusuke finally learns his name after forgetting about him the first time they fought. His tenacity earned the recognition of the strongest guy he's ever met. Eventually, his identity shifted from being the toughest guy in town to the only guy tough enough to keep up with Yusuke Urameshi. This moment alone makes the entire Sensui arc worthwhile. The emotional clarity we get from Kuwabara as a result of Yusuke's second death is breathtakingly touching, but it's not the only memorable Kuwabara moment in this arc. Kuwabara idealizes certain traits he connects to manliness. To him, a man is strong in both body and character. As such, he abides his own ethical creed. A man must be honorable, loyal to his friends and his woman, and he must never back down from a fight. And a real man loves kittens. At times, Kuwabara may seem foolish for sticking to those beliefs, such as when he suggested that Team Urameshi should die as a team at the Gate of Betrayal, the decision to slice through the barrier protecting the human realm from A-class demons, or more significantly, when he risked his life in a reasonably pointless bid to save his Kuwabara group from the Psychic Seaman. Kuwabara possesses an unusual degree of spiritual awareness. After the Dark Tournament, he was able to sense the upcoming threat to the human realm posed by Sensui, and subconsciously began storing his power, preparing it for an evolution that would prepare him to defend the world when he needed it most. But because he's unaware of this process, he simply believes he just lost his powers. During the Chapter Black arc, Kuwabara feels unneeded due to losing his powers and always being in Urameshi's shadow, so he entrusts the mission to Yusuke in favor of resuming a normal life with his old friends. This decision makes him easy prey for kidnapping. Seaman captures Kirishima, Okubu, and Komata in his territory. Acknowledging his powerlessness, Kuwabara still refuses to abandon his friends and charges in to save them. He gets caught as well, watching helplessly as his friends drown beside him. Rather than give up, he tries, when there's no indication he'll be able to do anything. He's trapped in a dimension without breathable oxygen, but he does everything in his power to save his comrades. He punches at the water avatar with everything he has, trying to break out. And in his desperation, he awakens a new power, a spirit sword capable of slicing through dimensions. This allows him to escape and defeat Seaman, but despite his exhaustion and the young boy's attempt on his life, instead of leaving him to bleed out in the rain, he carries him home on his back along with the 3 other unconscious members of his gang. Kuwabara, sticking to his ideals, restored his powers and his manly pride. Seaman, real name Kiyoshi Matari, was baffled by the choice to save not only his allies, but even his enemy. This is a child who was bullied and ostracized before being manipulated by Sensui with the footage of Chapter Black, a record of the very most evil acts ever committed by humans. Of course, after witnessing that, his malleable mind was convinced that humanity was intrinsically evil and needed to be eradicated. He became a cruel judge of humankind, who took joy in punishing those Sensui deemed wicked. But meeting someone as pure and honest as Kuwabara threw that worldview into disarray. When faced with the choice between Sensui, who regarded him as disposable as an ally, and Kuwabara, who protected his life even as an enemy, there's no wonder he began to see the error of his ways. He suffered a life of hardship, and needed to be reminded of human kindness. But once he is, he's reminded of his own capacity for good. Witnessing Kuwabara's display of valor firsthand, the former enemy Seaman was turned into an ally. An understated rivalry is that between Kuwabara and Hiei. While Kurama's kindness and friendly demeanor allow him to get along with Kuwabara, Hiei's off-putting brashness rubs the easily excitable human the wrong way on more than one occasion. During the 4 Saint Beasts arc, Kuwabara and Hiei meet for the first time, and immediately establish the antagonistic rapport that makes them a famous comedic duo. Hiei dismisses Kuwabara outright, saying that he's there as the human's babysitter, and that he's only interested in settling the score with Yusuke. While Hiei acts better than everyone, he does consider Yusuke a rival, and Kuwabara picks up on this. But being Yusuke's greatest rival is his job. The fact that Yusuke has earned Hiei's respect despite being a human also vexes him. Kuwabara's instinct is to fight Hiei. Totally understandable, to be honest. But he has to set that aside as they have more pressing matters to attend to. But the way he talks to Hiei is pretty similar to how he addresses Yusuke. He hates not being treated as a worthwhile warrior, and wants to prove his mettle to Hiei in battle. Rather than demonstrating his battle prowess to the half-pipe personally, he proves his ability and resilience on their joint missions, first against the Saint Beast Byakko, and later by competing in every round of the Dark Tournament. Hiei presents himself as a full-fledged demon. He purports to be ruthless, callous, sadistic, and misanthropic. Of course, a lack of desire for friendship would fit the pattern of behavior, so he has no intention of acknowledging Kuwabara whatsoever. But this is a self-delusion. Since the formation of Team Urameshi, he's never wished to see either of his human friends suffer harm. The way Kuwabara employs versatility and surprising cunning in his battles does impress him, though he may not admit it. The two also have a fairly similar sense of morality, as both adhere to their own personal codes. As warriors, they feel a drive to settle their conflicts in one-on-one battle, and neither will rest until those that underestimate them have eaten their words. Hiei also respects that Kuwabara will invariably come to the defense of a comrade in need, something the asocial demon often elects to do. These are just a few similar points the two characters share, and why despite their inimical interactions, there is an underlying mutual respect to their begrudging friendship. By the time we get to the Chapter Black arc, they don't necessarily treat each other differently, but they're clearly more able to see eye to eye. After Yusuke makes the ultimate sacrifice, all 3 of his allies are empowered by the emotional trigger. While Hiei rejects the fact that he cares about humans, especially his friends, he is as enraged and vengeful as anyone. Without complaints, he fights alongside Kurama and Kuwabara to save the realm of the living. Hiei spent the entire show up to this point in pursuit of Chapter Black. Kurama referred to the tape as an excuse to hate humanity, but when he finally held it in his hand, after protecting and fighting alongside humans to obtain it, he simply destroyed it without a single viewing. His friendship with Yusuke, and of course Kuwabara, aided him in accepting humanity. Without even trying, Kuwabara inspires those around him to be better simply through leading by example. So much so that it's implied that even his presence alone in the final tournament arc would have been enough to push Yusuke to keep fighting beyond his limits. I can totally hear him yelling at Urameshi not to go down until he sends that horned freak flying. You know you have a truly memorable central cast on your hands when the most common complaint about the final arc is that what was supposed to be a comic relief character was written out.
A mulberry is a tree, Kuwabara is a man, and I'll prove it. We all have to die when our time comes, but if we do our duty, we don't got regrets. So taste a little piece of my sword, Tagoro.
I hope you're all as excited as we are about Kato's Year of Classics. We knew there'd be no better way to start than with Yu Yu Hakusho. If you want to support this endeavor, consider heading over to patreon.com/KatoIT and pledging at least $1 to gain access to our patron-exclusive Discord server, or $10 like Spencer IRuleAtGames to get a personal shout-out at the end of our videos. Alternatively, head over to KatoMerch.com to get some Kato merch. To support us non-financially, follow us on Twitter, and like, comment on, and share this video with fellow Yu Yu Hakusho fans. Thank you all for listening to my dumb rants. Subscribe for more.